Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, CETL's first day of new faculty orientation. I am Hassan Selim, a professor of information systems in the College of Business and Economics, and I'm CETL director. The topic of my talk today is teaching at UAEU. And actually, what I will be talking to you about, you can look at it as a senior colleague who has been working for the institution for more than 2 decades, who started his career here as an assistant professor, reaching all the way to a senior professor in the same institution. So feel free to ask any questions you like. Even after the orientation, you will know at the end of my talk how to reach me at the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. So what I will be talking to you about today is simply I'm going to introduce the CETL team, and then I'm going to share with you the structure of the CETL, and then the framework within which we provide our services and support to our colleagues. And I'm going to share with you the strategic goals of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. And I will introduce you to our communities of practices, which actually we rely on them on managing the center. And let me say it now that the CETL is self-managed, is managed by the teaching community, and is led by a faculty member who's still active in teaching, research, and community service as well. So really, this is making a big difference on how we model our strategic plan and our activities. I'm going to introduce you to very important teaching policies and procedures, and these are actually sometimes is a lifesaver, because knowing the code of conduct and knowing the code of ethics and knowing the legal policies and procedures that are organizing the relationship between us as academics and our students is really very important. So I'm going to introduce you to about a handful of important policies and procedures very briefly, and I'm going to conclude my presentation with a framework that is developed in Brigham Young University in the States by Charles Graham, who's one of the active researchers in blended teaching and learning. I'm going to share with you the framework of how to become a successful blended teacher, a blended instructor in our institution. This is the CETL team. From right to left, Sean McGinnis, and he's a senior digital learning specialist. And right next to him, Mr. Blackboard, and I think you've been introduced to him whenever you find a glitch in Blackboard, or you face a challenge there, or you need an answer to a question. Mr. Muhammad Qatrawi, who is the senior Blackboard specialist. And next to him, the magician, Jimmy Joseph, who's our instructional developer. And as a matter of fact, whenever you see our advertisements or broadcasts, these are designed and developed by him. If you are going to be involved in a course transformation experience, then you will be working with him. And next to them is the speaker. Okay, for the structure, the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning is reporting to the provost, and the center is structured in 4 units. The first unit is instructional design, and this will be coordinated by Sean McGinnis, and this unit takes care of all the program and course transformations to blended or to online. We manage the project, and Actually, if you are going to attend our webinars as we go forward, you will know a lot more about what do I mean by blended course transformation or online course transformation, and what is the role played by our colleagues within the colleges in that project. The second unit is teaching and teaching scholarship and assessment. And this is the scholarship of teaching and learning. And by scholarship of teaching and learning, subtle for short, we mean conducting research about how we teach. Because most of us academics, we concentrate on doing research sometimes about what we teach, most of the time about our research interests. And we do not really think that our research portfolio includes research about how we teach. So this is the unit. So it's really working on very good research topics, and you can come up with your own in-class practice, and you can convert that into a very important publication that is counted into within your research portfolio, and at the same time you're contributing to part of the literature that is simply lacking there. And the third unit is the faculty professional development. And here before COVID-19, we used to conduct weekly face-to-face sessions, and we meet each others, and we think together about what is missing from the faculty development, and we incorporate that. And the fourth unit is about managing textbooks. And why textbooks is within the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, because the center has led the digitization of textbooks and is managing the e-textbooks that you guys are accessing on within your courses. And we have two aggregators providing us with the e-textbooks, Cortex and VitalSource, and this might increase in the future. And we have the community of practice, or communities of practice. And I'm going to talk about this in details a little bit later. Now, allow me to share with you the framework of services. And actually, it's mainly based on a very popular framework of integrating technologies into our classes. It's called the TPAC. And the TPAC is a technology integration framework that identifies 3 different types of knowledge that we should master as instructors. We should master technology we use. We should master emerging teaching pedagogies, and by default, we master the content. So that is the TPAC: technology, pedagogy, and content. Actually, we augmented that in order to widen the scope of the services provided by the center by the teaching communities, which is right in front of you. And the main TPAC components, we have the technology, the emerging teaching pedagogies, and the digital or hybrid blended content. Okay, let me get into a little bit of more details about each pillar of the 4 pillars of our service framework. When it comes to teaching and learning communities, we have at the top here faculty fellows. Since the CETL has been restructured since January 2015, since then we started forming that community of practice that consists of colleagues, faculty members, and instructors with talents or skills that they want to share with the teaching community. And at the beginning of every academic year, we advertise a call for members of the faculty fellows. On average, we get about 15 to 20 colleagues from within the institution. For example, I'm teaching information systems, and that's an example. And I'm successful in implementing a flipped class within an MBA course. And I can take that out of my closed classroom and take it under light by conducting a faculty professional development activity there. And I share my experience or my practice with colleagues who are attending the session, and we can exchange how to improve it and if it's implementable in different disciplines and all that. I might master an educational technology, for example, an app, and I would like to share my practice with my other colleagues. So every year we share that. There is a symbolic compensation for each session conducted just to motivate our colleagues to come forward. And this has been successful since the very first year we implemented it. So, and we have faculty professional development community of practice that sometimes we invite external speakers over and above faculty fellows. We have subtle and soil community of practice. The subtle is a group of colleagues who are interested in conducting research about how we teach or conducting research to validate a practice that is happening in a class. Soil is the scholarship of educational leadership. And I don't know if you've thought about a department chair, a vice dean, or even a dean. Have they ever read or conducted a research about being a successful dean or being a successful department chair or even being a successful provost? So this is the scholarship of educational leadership. And actually this, at its infancy on our campus, that we will do our best with your help to make it popular a little bit more than what it is today. Another community of practice is the Blackboardians. And actually the Blackboardians were created immediately after Mr. Qatrawi conducted Train the Trainer certified program. At the end of this program, we certified about 25 or 30 colleagues to train the others. Today, they are the champions of Blackboard, helping Mr. Qatrawi in supporting and conducting Blackboard. Every single college has a Blackboardian. And of course, the Blackboardians will be growing, and we will be conducting more sessions to beef it up and have more than the current number. E-textbooks, liaison, we have liaison in every single college. And this is the first line of support. When you need any e-textbook question or inquiry, you'll go to that person first. And that person is going to contact us at the CETL to provide any issues. Of course, you have the help desk at uaeu.ac.ae to send whatever technological glitches that you're facing within the e-textbook or any other requirements. Every year we hold forums and symposium about digital teaching and learning, and hopefully we will lift this up to the level of an annual conference about digital teaching and learning. And to those of you who are very new to know that we got the 5-star level from the QS ranking organization in online learning because of the successful transition that we made from pre-COVID-19 to where we are today. Okay. Regarding the emerging teaching pedagogies, you will find us make webinars and advertisements, sometimes tutorials about the best practices in implementing emerging teaching pedagogies. how to successfully teach using team-based learning, problem-based, project-based, collaborative learning, active learning, flipping your class, blended, online, long lists of emerging teaching pedagogies. And when we train you on how to implement that, this is going to be supported by educational technology. Remember the TPAC framework that we adopt in conducting our services at the center. When it comes to educational technologies, I claim that the UAEU has one of the best IT infrastructures in the region, maybe beyond that. And you will feel that as you stay longer and you get in touch with the educational technologies that we adopt in our institution. We started switching to the cloud. Blackboard now is provided to us from the cloud, and this actually made a big difference when we switched to 100% online in the beginning of March after COVID pandemic. Panopto, which is the multimedia course material management system, is provided by the cloud as well. And I humbly recommend that you master Panopto, because we developed four alternative plans when we went from face-to-face to 100% online. We said plan A is to use the virtual classroom built into Blackboard, which you're using, the Collaborate Ultra. And if Collaborate Ultra faces any problems, then we go to Microsoft Teams. And now our institution subscribed to that, and it's available. You will lose some of the teaching features available to you in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, but you can conduct your class using Microsoft Teams. Plan C was actually to annotate your presentation and record it and make it available asynchronously, make it available pre-recorded. And if you look at it, this plan is resorted to if plan A, B, and C actually doesn't work. So, and we have Zoom now as one of the alternatives. So Panopto should be added as another alternative plan here, because you can actually capture your screen and record it and use it synchronously and asynchronously as well. So please try to attend our online tutorials available on your faculty organization. And we have plenty of apps. If you're interested, you can bring your own app that you're used to, and we can help you with that. And in January 2020, we partnered with edX. Now, edX is actually number 1 or 2 open online platform globally, competes always with Coursera. Of course, we have long list of open online platforms, but these are number 1 and number 2. We partnered with them, and we have our own platform within edX. We have UAEU X, like Harvard X, MIT X, Berkeley X, and all these. About 160 international universities are available with that X consortium, and we are members of that. And on UAEU X, and you watch it, because UAEU X is going to be a big hit during this academic year. So far, we have 5 MOOCs available there, and we have more than 40,000 online learners in just few months after we partnered with them. We're aiming high here, and we are trying to make a difference in the higher education landscape in this part of the world using UAEU X. Of course, you can have tablets, laptops, whatever technology you have, and we have a video conference facility within the campus. You can conduct it, but I think now after having Collaborate Ultra, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom, things are sufficient. You can do it from home like what I'm doing now. When it comes to the content, which is the last component of our service framework, we have the blended course transformation project. This actually is going to be a big project, and I'm going to chat with you at the end of my presentation, sharing with you where the university is going when it comes to digital teaching and learning. Again, we have, you can actually choose, well, blended learning is the best model we adopt. Yes, we are online now completely because of the COVID-19, but after COVID-19, post-COVID-19, the university will be completely different when it comes to digital teaching and learning. So mostly will be blended, and we will have self-paced courses available on UAEUX and even within our Blackboard as well. Let me check if I have questions. No questions. Okay. Next, I'm going to just list the services the center is provided so far. These are the 4 services under the 4 standard units within the CETL. The FPD, Instructional Design and Development, Scholarship of Teaching and Learning, and the Teaching Assessment and Mentoring. We added the e-textbooks as a 4th unit, as I shared with you, and we a year and a half ago, actually this is cohort 4 in what we call the PhD Teaching Academy program. If you have a PhD student under your supervision, then you are invited to introduce your students into or to the PhD Teaching Academy program. It certifies the PhD students as higher education instructors. Can you imagine? Well, I'm one of those who belong to a generation that we got the PhD, and with the PhD, there was an assumption that I'm a successful teacher. Well, but I had a hard time actually learning how to teach. I might be a very successful researcher, but I'm not a very good instructor. So here, we just took that initiative to enable our PhD students while they are working on their PhD to be certified higher education instructor. And as a matter of fact, there's a full semester taken here as an apprenticeship, mentored by a senior faculty member who takes them through a full cycle of teaching experience. It has been very successful so far. Since we were joined by Mr. Blackboard, we added the functional support of Blackboard. And that was one of the major activities that we did. We decoupled the technical support of Blackboard from the functional support. Before we have this activity, if I'm an academic and I'm stuck in Blackboard, I had to go all the way to the Division or Department of Information Technology and look for the Blackboard technical administrator and ask him functional questions. It wasn't really running very well, and now I think things are pretty different. Okay. Our strategic objectives and our whole strategic plan is centered around what I have been sharing with you. The first goal is about innovation, and actually we foster innovation in teaching and learning. If you have an idea in your mind about making a difference in a teaching methodology or the adoption of an instructional technology, come to us. and we will help you to make that idea or that implementation very successful, hopefully at the end. If we fail, that's fine, because we do believe that once you get into innovative idea, it might not be successful at the beginning, and we learn, and then we start again and again, and we succeed at the end. The second goal is to sponsor, provide, and sustain efficient and effective faculty professional development. The third is, as I shared with you, subtle and soil, and engagement, which is, as a senior colleague of yours, I ask you not to stay away from the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. I know some of you might say, come on, it's research. You know, I'm going to get promoted if I conduct research. And I heard it with my own ears that any minute spent on teaching just a waste of time, because it's research and research and research. Well, research is extremely important. And actually, as an academic, I enjoy conducting research. But at the same time, I feel like it's part of my portfolio, it's part of my obligation towards the students to teach them what I learned. And that is a complementing part to my role as an academic. So I encourage you not to say that, but always look at teaching and research as two components of your portfolio that are complementing each other's. And the fifth goal is about assessment. And again, we assess your teaching practices. You might like to be mentored and have some senior colleagues visit you informally and try to tell you, here are your strengths and here where you need to improve your teaching and all that, which is really very, very important. I have been in the academia for more than 40 years, and I have been visited in my class twice, when I was promoted from assistant to associate, and when I was promoted from associate to full. Well, when I look back now and I say, well, I wish that I had many mentors visiting me, I would have benefited the students even more. Okay, our communities of practice. I shared with you Blackboardians, subtle, online and blended teaching and learning, faculty fellows, Panoptians, remote teaching champions. And let me tell you what happened in March. When we received a call from the VC saying, guys, we're completely online tomorrow. And we were ready. But as you looked at the structure, we are 3 or 4, and we cannot actually deal with the tremendous number of support needed when you go all of a sudden online. And I sent an email to the colleges and I said, I would like to form a community of practice. And if you've been trained well on online teaching and learning, come on board. In less than an hour, I got about 23 volunteers from all the colleges. Until today, they are our champions. They are the first line of support. And we go there and support whenever they have any questions. And hopefully, we will enhance that experience this academic year. If you have a question in your mind, who are they? I will share with you the list of faculty fellows, the list of remote teaching champions, and the list of all the community of practice members. The new community of practice that we will announce shortly is the Effective Teaching and Learning Methods, the ETLMs, because this is a strategic initiative at the university level that we are required to develop a knowledge navigator system, which is going to be the Bible of your search for effective teaching and learning methods. For example, if you would like to check if there are some collaborative learning, teaching pedagogy in your discipline. You're going to go there, you're going to search for the practices. We will do our best to put the best practices and most of the effective teaching and learning methods that can help us. And if you look at this, that is going to support everything I'm talking about in this presentation. So, because this can trigger research, this can trigger best practices that you teach even better and you implement based on research-informed type of practices. So I'm holding high hopes on this community of practice to help us. The critical policies and procedures. This is the website, the link that you can actually look at these policies and procedures on the university website. Even if you go to the university website and search for policies and practices, you will get that list. I'm going to share that link with you in the chat during the second part of our orientation today. In this slide, I linked the 6 very important policies and procedures that I urge you to read them carefully in your first month or so. It will save you a lot of troubles in the future, and it's 42 minutes in my presentation. I will do my best to, if we have time, to share some personal experiences with you that policies like this saved me, actually. Faculty responsibilities, for example. I hope you don't see it. So I need to get out of my presentation in order to show you this. But I shared them with you. I do not want to get out of the presentation. It's a PDF file. The faculty responsibilities tells you exactly what do you need to do in order to excel and succeed within UAEU. Your responsibilities are going to be research, teaching, and community engagement. And you vary the emphasis on them semester by semester or academic year by academic year. You might conduct more research, but at the same time, you're chairing a committee or a member in a committee or you're involved in a consultation, and at the same time, you're teaching. Diversification of teaching is really very important. It doesn't look good if you are applying for a full professorship and most of the courses you teach are entry-level courses, for example, or you just have a couple of courses taught all the way. And at the same time, research. Well, research is extremely important because I always tell our new colleagues, start building your portfolio on the first day you join the institution. Try to put your research agenda, look around on campus within the institution for chances to generate funds or grants for your research, build research teams as you go forward. These are very, very important things to do. So this policy and procedure gives you the details of what should be done in there, and even to the extent of how many hours you should spend on campus. And well, now, of course, most of us are teaching from home, but under normal circumstances. Workload, this policy and procedure shows you the teaching load that varies on different ranks, on different orientation. The university here has teaching orientation and research orientation. If you are a research faculty member, then your teaching load is going to be less, but the research expectations will be more. If you are a teaching faculty, then you're not even going to be asked to get promotions. You will be teaching more, okay? But unfortunately, not like universities in North America or Europe, that there is a professor of teaching. We do not have that, but you can reach maximum an associate professor of teaching, not really a full professor. This policy and procedure explains that, together with the promotion, policy and procedure here. Performance review. Our performance as academics is evaluated every year within the college. So at the beginning of the academic year, we develop a plan. I'm going to do this in teaching, I'm going to do that in research, I'm going to accomplish this in community service. And there's an interim meeting with the department chair, the mid-year, and the department chair discusses your plan with you, checks the progress, checks the challenges, lack of resources, whatever. And at the end, you're evaluated in teaching, research, and community engagement. At the university, you're evaluated once every 2 years. The result of these evaluations actually contribute to contract renewals, promotion in the future, and so forth. So this is, again, very important to have your balanced plan every year as we go. The performance review policy and procedure gives you all the details there. Peer feedback on teaching and peer evaluation of teaching. There is a difference actually between the two. The peer feedback, you can invite a group of peers and you ask them informally to mentor you, attend some classes for you, and give you their feedback. So this is a team of peers invited to help you to teach better, and they share their report with you in a very friendly manner. Peer evaluation of teaching, the PET, is part of your promotion. This is a formal peer evaluation of teaching. You have a committee visiting you in the class in order to observe your teaching, write a report that, well, when I chaired that committee for a few years, I shared the committee reports with the faculty members. But the policy states that it's 2 visits. The first visit report is shared, but the second visit report is not. Okay, which simply the policy is being revised as we speak to just fill in these gaps. Promotion is, again, it's a very critical policy and procedure. It tells you in details how to prepare your promotion file, what are the contents in there, the evidences that you should compile over the years. And here's another advice. Please keep your evidences safe and build them as you go. If after 4 years from today you're going to try to find evidences, you're not going to find any. Okay, so try to build that as you go. Your teaching records, course syllabi, your publications, and the conference presentations, and all these, even consultations and committees that you participated in, all these should be kept in order to build your promotion file, because your promotion file, once it leaves the college, it's only the file. You're not going to be there to say, well, no, I did not put this or I did not put that. Grades and grading, this policy and procedure shares with you the detailed grading policy, and we do not have A+ here. We start with A minus, B+, and so forth, and the cutoffs are there in the policy, the teaching load, and all these. So I urge you to read the policies and procedures that I shared with you today. If you have any question, you can resort to a senior colleague who can answer them. Send me an email, call me if you think I can be helpful here. I like this, this model, and if I have time down the road, I might have a session dedicated to and elaborate about how this model can make a difference in how we teach. As you can see, it's built like a temple, and the base of that temple is dispositions. Dispositions are going to be something like, how do we change our mindset to be a successful blended instructor? And when we say blended here, we blend between online and face-to-face. Okay, because blending can take different types of mixes. And I'm gonna just talk very briefly about it in a second. And another part of the base is your technology skills. Well, how many times have we called for help, and when the technical person comes to the class, it's just a click, or just turning something on or off? Well, we should be trained to do that basic troubleshooting, and we should master that. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, what type of skill sets that we need to master. Based on these two levels of base in there, we can have those 4 pillars that represent the 4 sets of competencies that we should master. The first competency is the online integration. The second is data practices. The third is personalization from the student side, and the online interaction. I will briefly talk about these 4 competencies that we should own, we should have in order to excel as blended instructors in higher education. Here are the 4 competencies that we need to master. Okay. Talking about dispositions, student ownership and agency. I was told, and I'm quoting a colleague 20 years ago, when we started training our colleagues on how to use PowerPoint in the class and how to switch from transparency projectors to computer projectors. And he said, listen, Hassan, just go away with that technology. If I'm away from the whiteboard and the students are busy writing, I feel like I'm not in control. I'm not going to be using this. Okay. And now we're talking about the other extreme, that we should pass part of the control of teaching to the students. Student ownership and agency. It's the shift allowing our students to make more decisions about the time when they learn, the place where they learn, and the pace, the pathway within the course material itself is what we're talking about. Of course, I'm not going to be able to elaborate on that now because of the time. Value of data-driven decisions. Well, in order to take a decision about how successful that teaching pedagogy is, we need to support that by data. What kind of data? How do we generate the data? So being informed and take informed decisions is going to be based on your ability to generate data. And within our institution, we have the best business intelligence system. Blackboard itself has Blackboard analytics for Learn. And the dashboards available to us is amazing. Growth orientation. Whenever you are a successful blended instructor, you should accept failure, as I said, and you should accept risks. You try something and it doesn't work well, and you try something else, and so forth. Do not feel bad because you did not succeed to implement a teaching pedagogy that you believed that this would have made a difference, and it did not actually make what you expect. That is part of innovation by default. Value online learning. There is a myth about online learning, specifically that some faculty members, some teaching colleagues, they say, well, it doesn't work. Face-to-face is a lot better. And I'm not going to be trying online learning. Well, you haven't tried it. Let's read the literature. Let's try it. And then make a statement about it. I'm not saying that online learning is the magic stick that's going to solve every teaching challenge that you might have. That's why we're talking about blended. But be research informed and evidence-based instructor in order to believe that online learning can make a difference in part of your knowledge blocks and might not work in some other part of your course. I'm going to try to be faster because we need to have a break. When it comes to the skills, basic technical literacy, and these are available to you in the faculty organization. You know, the very basic technological knowledge. You should be aware of the digital citizenship, privacy, for example, plagiarism. You should know how to deal with these. We have intellectual property policy in our institution, and we have turned it in, and the library actually has adopted this magic solution, and it's utilized in a very nice way. Tomorrow you will hear more. And we have Safe Assign within Blackboard that's built into Blackboard that can help you do that. You should be aware of the cyber laws and all that. Blackboard, our learning management system, actually I call it virtual learning environment because it's a platform within which we provide tons of third-party solutions to you to facilitate your teaching. With Muhammad Qatrawi and the Blackboardians, I think you will master it because we go wide and deep into Blackboard to a level that you wouldn't imagine that Blackboard can really do this. Media creation tools, and I think Mr. Magician is going to conduct some workshops on handy tools that can help you in developing professional interactive clips to your students. And communication tools. I think now, and due to COVID-19, we mastered many communication tools with our students within Blackboard and through our virtual classes. All right, I'm going to have to go fast here because here I'm talking about every single competency set that we should master: the online integration and the data practices. And here are the AAA statement that you ask, analyze, and act. You ask and collect data, answering your questions. Well, how's my class performing? And you go there and you generate a scatter diagram that shows the grade distribution right in the middle of your course. And you look at the outliers and you start taking decisions. What I'm talking about is just a click in your course and you get that report. And you take corrective action before it's too late. That's an example. And I have tons of examples that I can share with you when I talk in details about these competencies. Students have some control over, as I said, where, when, and how. And actually, we're going to lead what we call adaptive learning, adaptive courseware. And this is a couple of strategic initiatives that the university would like to have that built into the organization culture. And I will talk about that in some other sessions with you. And the online communication, you should be aware of what is the best communication media that you need to have in your course. You can have face-to-face communication. You can have synchronous, you can have asynchronous. You can have traditional book if the e-textbook is not there. So the diversification is really high in here. Okay. That is where the center is. It looks exactly like that. It's located in building G2. I'm going to show it on the map. Office 0005. These are the phone numbers that you can call us in anytime. I'm going to share that slide with you after my presentation. And here's our location. This is the boys or the male side food court. And this is the College of IT building, the male side, and we're located right here in the corner. Very easy to access. Okay. Of course, now we're not getting into heavy face-to-face interaction, but you can set an appointment if you need a face-to-face consultation, and we'll be there for you. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.